Okay, we might make a start. There's no problem with late stragglers. It's dinner time. So hello and welcome everyone to the Basketball Victoria Digital Partner Update webinar. I'm Matt McIntosh, General Manager of Communications, Marketing and Digital here at Basketball Victoria. First, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands of which we're meeting this evening, particularly for me, the Bunurong people, where I live, and I pay my respect to their elders, past and present. Thanks for everyone who's attending tonight on a cold Tuesday evening. It's a webinar format, so we can't see you or hear you. So hopefully you're all rugged up with your pajamas on or similar. Just a bit of housekeeping to start. We're recording the webinar and we'll send both the presentation and the webinar out in the next couple of days. If you have any questions during the session, if you can just put it in the Q&A box, not the chat box, the Q&A box down the bottom there. We'll do our best to answer any questions at the end of each section. If there's any curly ones or particular specific ones we need to take offline, we'll do that and we'll get the correct person to contact you after the meeting. We'll also have a contact slide at the end of the meeting with everyone's contact details on there for those who do not have it. So on to the presenters for this evening. So from Basketball Victoria, we have Kevin and Chantel, who are both digital support officers. From PlayHQ, we have Danielle Cornwell, who's the customer lead community. We have Andrew and Tim Roberts, the co-founders of TeamPay. And we've got David Hopkins, who's the national manager of Glory League. So welcome to you all presenting this evening. So now on to the agenda. Thanks, Kev. So we'll be covering registration and payments in PlayHQ, just to make sure everyone's across those. Recent significant PlayHQ enhancements. Upcoming PlayHQ development, and then both TeamPay and Glory League will do a little presentation for those who are not across it and talk about the integrations and how it happens with PlayHQ. So hopefully we should be wrapped up within the hour and you can have your evening back. So thanks, over to you, Kev.
Thanks for that, Matt. Hi, everyone. Hope you are keeping warm and dry this evening. The first thing I'd like to talk to you about tonight is registration and insurance. There are a few points I'd like to make to ensure that everyone has their registration set up correctly and to straighten out a couple of misconceptions that are floating around. Other than for some Big V run leagues, all registrations, including those of any programs that you may be running, must be taken through PlayHQ to ensure insurance coverage. When we talk about insurance, we're not just talking about for players, but just as importantly, public liability insurance for club and associations too. Players must register for each specific season, program, or event that they are in. This is because each competition, program, or tournament administrator requires the details of each participant. There may be fees attached to participation in different things, and each organisation may have their own terms and conditions that need to be adhered to and agreed to. Insurance is based on registration and not necessarily the payment of a fee, which isn't always applicable. I'll talk about the fees that Basketball Victoria charges in a moment, but holiday camps is a good example of a registration type that does not attract the participation fee from BV, but registrants are covered for insurance even if they have not paid for a beginner participant fee or have a BV license. The only fees that Basketball Victoria charge for general participation are the BV license, which applies to domestic, non-excluded tournaments and also the VJBL, and that applies for 365 days across the state. The other fee that we charge is the beginner program participant fee, which is charged, which is $5 per term. If you do run any beginner programs, please get in, and this isn't already set up for you, please get in contact with us so that we can set this up correctly for you. The fees that are collected contribute to the cost of managing and running the sport, including things like insurance for everyone, education, and association support services. As you'd be aware, you are able to collect fees at the point of registration in PlayHQ. Most of you are already doing this. In case you weren't aware, last year Basketball Victoria negotiated a new platform service fee with PlayHQ, which came into effect at the start of this year. It used to be 3.49%, but we managed to get it down to 2.3%. No doubt this will help those of you who are collecting fees through the system. And if you're not, hopefully this will enable you to do so. Some of the benefits of taking payments at the point of registration include no more chasing of payments and also having to reconcile bank statements. I'm sure quite a number of you, if you've done this in the past, you'd get a lot of transaction descriptions from parents saying basketball, and then it's a pain trying to work out who the payment was for. So players in PlayHQ cannot register without paying unless you give them a discount voucher to take an amount or all of the amount off the fee at the point of registration. It's obviously reduced risk with less cash handling, improved reporting ability, automatic disbursements to your bank account, and also it's just a better all-round experience for participants and parents. This is something that we encourage all of our clubs and associations to do. Before I move on to some of the recent PlayHQ enhancements, Chantel, were there any questions on anything covered so far in registration and payments?
The only one for registration and payments was just the definition of a junior player.
Yeah, I can answer that one. So a junior player is considered someone that's 17 and under on the day that they register to the competition that they're participating in. If you are 18 or over on the day that you register, you are considered a senior player and therefore pay the senior rate. All right, thanks for that, Chantel, and thanks for that question that came through. Moving on to some of the recent significant enhancements that PlayHQ have developed. Probably one of the biggest ones that our associations have been asking for in recent times has been registration caps. So the use case for this is you run a program, you've got limited capacity. So rather than having to keep an eye on the number of registrants that are popping into the system and shutting off the registration, we've worked with PlayHQ to get registration caps built, which is going to be a big win for our associations and clubs that run programs. The second one is group fee variance. So some associations and clubs charge, like might run a weekly program. A beginner program is probably the most common one. And they want to charge a different fee based on the day of the week selected by the parent or participant. The most common example of this would be like Mondays tend to have more public holidays. So they want to charge a lower amount for Monday compared to any other day of the week. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flick across to the test system in PlayHQ and show you how this works. So the first thing you do when you do set up a program is to create your groups if that is applicable. So I'm going to create two groups. So my club or association runs Aussie Hoops, and I offer this program on a Monday and also a Wednesday. So I'm not going to put in all the details here, but just to get this set up, we make the group visible so that that can be selected by the registrant or the account holder. And I'm going to create another group called Wednesday. All right, once you've created your groups, if you pop back over to the registration tab and registration limits, what you can now do is set your program registration caps. So the season limit refers to the overall number of participants that can register to this program on a whole, encompassing all days. Now, I can't imagine that too many of you guys would be using that functionality, but you certainly would be using the group capacity functionality. So for the purpose of this example, I'm going to change this one from unlimited to 10 participants. And apologies, I've clicked on the wrong button there, but if I come in here, put 10, click on the right button this time, and I'll also set a cap of 10 for Wednesday. So what this means now is that a maximum of 10 participants can register for Monday before the full sign and it being grayed out. all takes place in PlayHQ automatically, and same with Wednesday. So once you've set your groups and your registration limits, we can go back into settings to set up our form. So we're going to set our open date and our closing date for registration to this program. I'm not going to go into other functionality here. If you are using the program group variants where you're charging a different fee per group, it doesn't really matter what you put in here, because we're going to go into, it's going to be trumped by group variants. So the standard player fee is not going to apply. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to say that Monday will cost $80 because there are fewer sessions on a Monday due to public holidays, and I'm going to set that to $100. And then we save our form. I'm just going to quickly run you through this to show what it looks like. Okay. So I'm going to register Patrick. Okay, and as you can see over here, the price, depending on what group they select, the appropriate price is shown there. In the event that a particular group would be full, you wouldn't be able to select that, and it would have a full label there. Okay, so that's program enhancements, and particularly the registration caps, I think, has been a very popular recent enhancement. Another thing that will be particularly beneficial for competition administrators is the ladder report, particularly for grading the grade at the end of the grading period. You want to have a look at all your grades to see how the ladders are shaping up, to see if there's any changes that need to be made. So I'm going to show you that one now. So in your competition season, if you click on the More drop-down arrow and select View All Ladders, on one page it will give you all of your grades in that competition season and all of the ladders all in one place. And you can also save that as a PDF. So as I mentioned, very handy come the end of grading period. The next enhancement I want to talk about is the season status filter on playhq.com. So in the past, association administrators had to hide all past seasons to declutter their playhq.com page, which made perfect sense. Now PlayHQ have built a filter there so that you can show and hide by season status. So again, I'll jump back into here, and here's an example of Frankston's fixture and ladders page. So as you can see here, there are a lot of seasons visible, which can get quite messy. And as mentioned before, a lot of associations have opted to hide previous seasons. The problem with that is participants then cannot go back to previous seasons and look at their stats and results from matches in the past. So what PlayHQ have built is this filter here. So I can easily toggle off completed. So it's only going to show upcoming and active seasons. So I've also asked PlayHQ, and they're going to get this done for us next week, is to have the completed filter toggled off by default. Okay, so what I'd like to do is I'd like to ask association administrators, all association administrators, to now make all past seasons visible so that participants can view stats and results from the past. But also an app is on the way, which Matt will talk about very shortly. And it does rely on past seasons being visible to work properly for your association. So again, if I can ask all association administrators to unhide all of their past seasons so that all of this information is readily available for participants and also for the app. Back onto the presentation. Another recent enhancement that will impact the minority of association administrators is the ability to regrade using the user interface after doing a fixture upload. So this will not apply to most association administrators, but for those of you who do use the fixture upload, in the past, you had to do all of your future regrades using the fixture upload, but now you've got the ability to do regrades using the user interface by clicking that blue regrade button. And the last enhancement of note I'd like to talk about is the ability to update the team organizer. So the scenario here is you might have a player or the team organizer or captain of the team that registered the team, an independent team, might have moved interstate for work or otherwise, and they now want to pass over the responsibility of managing that team to another player. In the past, you weren't able to do that, but on this next slide here is how you do it. So once you go into the team, on the right-hand side, where all the team staff and management access and the ability to edit the team is, there's a new button there, Change Team Organizer. If you click on that, then you'll be able to select another registrant, another participant who's registered to that team. Okay, what I might do now is I'm going to pass over to Danny to talk about the new season rollover functionality that's in the works, and then she'll pass to Matt to talk about the app before we take some more questions on new functionality. Over to you, Danny.
Awesome. Thanks, Kev. Hi, everyone. It's really great to be here with you tonight. As Kev has just demonstrated beautifully, there are a heap of new features available in Play HQ, and they're available for you to use right now. But we do have a couple more exciting things that we wanted to chat to you about tonight. So they're still in the works and are due to be released over the coming months. As Kev just mentioned, the first of these features I'm going to quickly chat about. And the first is the highly anticipated season rollover. So as a lot of you would know, setting up a new season can be quite time consuming. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some of those tasks a little bit easier for you within Play HQ. So season rollover is going to allow administrators to copy a previous season and create a new season based on the settings of their previous season. I'm not going to go into too much detail tonight or give away too much, but what I can tell you is that new feature is going to allow you to roll over things such as your season dates, your grades, and also your teams. When rolling over those grades, you will also be able to roll over all of your grade settings. So again, you know, there are a lot of grade settings within Play HQ, which can be quite fiddly to get them right at the start of every season. So now you'll be able to roll those over from one season to the next. Once you roll over your grades, your teams, your settings, you are then able to make edits in your new season. So if you need to change some grade settings from season to season, or some teams are no longer playing, you're able to delete those out in order to get ready for your upcoming season. Whilst you are able to roll over a lot of your season, the one thing that you aren't able to roll over is your players. As Kev mentioned at the start, all your players will still need to register for every competition and every season. So that won't change with this season rollover functionality. All of your players will still need to register for each season. So when is it going to be ready? The Play HQ team have been working really hard on this feature over the last couple of months. They're just tweaking a few of the last finishing touches, and it will be available for you at this stage at the end of the month. Keep your eyes peeled. We're really excited about this feature at Play HQ, and we hope that you're really excited about it as well. So keep your eyes peeled for an announcement. We will communicate with you once this feature is available. There'll also be support material to help you get this feature up and running at your association and your clubs. So we'll make sure we communicate all the support material along with the announcement of this feature as well. As I mentioned, we're really excited. We hope you're excited as well. And we hope that season rollover helps save you a little bit of time with those setup tasks at the start of each season. I'll now hand it over to Matt, who has another exciting announcement.
Thanks, Danny. Just before I get into it, Chantal, was there any particular questions for that section to bring up?
Yes, thanks, Matt. Danny, a question was just asked, as a club administrator, if they don't want their teams rolled over, are they able to not use that function? And can the association not roll over their teams for them?
Good question, Chantal. Yes, absolutely. The association will control which parts of the season rolls over from one season to the next.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, sneak peek. Play HQ has worked really hard the last few months building a consumer-facing app. The The branding is in draft mode, so don't have this as gospel yet, but it could be something like Play Hoops. So we're just working through the final stages of that. So just pop to the next slide for me. Thanks, Kev. Yeah, so it's been one of the most asked questions is when is an app coming? Because I think it's 85 to 90% of people that consume PlayHQ that are not administrators obviously do it through their smartphone. So this will be a welcome addition and a really exciting product from what I've seen so far. So obviously it's for players, when's the next game, who are they playing, etc. Season stats, etc. Parents and supporters, so grandparents, uncles, whoever it is. It's a really user intuitive app. You can favorite things, you can search. The functionality is amazing from what I've seen so far. So we're aiming to launch this August, September in time, hopefully for the summer season. Aiming for, probably August at this stage, but with any development builders, most of the people on this call would know, it may go over time, but fingers crossed, we're going to hit that target. So next slide. Thanks, Kev. So some of the key features, as I was saying, so you can favorite your player, whether you've got multiple kids, so it's easy, accessible for you, and people can follow multiple stats and multiple teams. The search functionality, so this is not multi-sport, this is just for basketball and just for basketball in Victoria, which is great, different to playhq.com as it currently is. You can follow a game if you can't access a game as a parent or an administrator. You can follow a game and the live scoring as it's happening, including the stats and period scores. And then obviously you can look up start time, locations, etc. It flows through to Apple Maps or Google Maps depending on what your smartphone is for that. Just some rough examples, as I was saying, of the initial design. So we want it to be as simple as possible and as easy to use as possible. You might be able to see there's on the home screen, it'll pop up with your home team, your favorite player or players, and then you can obviously switch those in and out quite easily, which is good. Next slide for me. So just back to that one, and there's a light and dark mode as well. So just on the third and fourth one there. So just working through to make it the most accessible colors for people to access. Sorry, Kev, next one. And then as I was saying, so the favorites, the search functionality. So it's a global search via organization or for a particular player. If that player has, or that parent has allowed that player to have their details made public. And then season statistics, and you can dig deeper and deeper once you get into individual statistics, game logs and things like that, which is really great. So more details to come. We're just sort of working on the timing and obviously the marketing of it. But we hope everyone jumps on board and looking forward to this. We think it'll be great. Any questions in the chat box, Q&A box?
Yes, we've got two questions. The first one is push notifications for fixture changes. Will that be something in there?
It's a very good question. It's probably not in the first iteration that I know of, but I will follow that up. So the initial iteration won't have that, but I'm thinking it maybe next year, but I will chase that up.
Perfect. And the second one, can individuals hide their details from others to view on the app? So basically the privacy settings, are they reflected from PlayHQ into the app? 100%,
yes. So it'll be exactly as it is in the current playhq.com, reflected into the app.
One more, Matt. Is the app free?
Of course, 100%. Definitely free. Yeah, we want you to share it with your community. So as soon as we know the timeline and when it's available, we'll share it out to all clubs and associations to make sure that they pass it on to your communities. And we think we'll have a great take up, which will make everyone's life a lot easier. Initially, it won't be a payment app as well. So any payments for registrations will be through playhq.com as a mobile site. So this is primarily for scores, stats, fixtures, travel, etc. Okay, great. Now to pass on to both Andrew and Tim from TeamPay. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Matt, and good evening, everyone. Appreciate your time this evening. My name is Andrew, and this is Tim, as Matt mentioned. And yeah, we're excited to come and share a few product updates and new functionality in TeamPay that has just been released. The first announcement that we're really excited to share, and you may have seen an announcement about this recently, is that we've just released our TeamPay and PlayHQ e-scoring integration. We are now have the ability to push our TeamPay payment information directly to this e-scoring application there at the court, providing a range of operational efficiency benefits for associations on game day and game night by surfacing that information up at a court level. How it works is there's a game payments button that is now available on the e-scoring application. I should take a step back. You do have to enable the functionality through TeamPay and PlayHQ first for this button to appear. But what it does is it allows referees at the court to check the payment status of both teams before they start the game. It will work for both the common methods of domestic competition, where it's a team sheet fee or a per player fee. If it's a team sheet fee, it will tell whether the team has paid or not. If it's a per player fee, it will show how many from the team have paid, just like on the screen there. So we're really excited. We've been working hard with PlayHQ to make this available and believe it can really provide some awesome efficiencies on game day. Addressing any payment issues right there at the court before you start a game, preventing associations and clubs having to chase teams for payments after the fact, and making life easier for you and your members. So that's the first release, and that's available now for all the TeamPay and PlayHQ organizations. I might get you to go to the next screen if that's all right, Kev.
Yeah, awesome. And we're really excited as well to bring another update, the forfeit/walkover management functionality. So teams can now give forfeits or walkovers through their TeamPay app and directly notify you at the association when they do so. If you don't mind, Kevin, going to the next slide. So the way it works is a team can log in and in the app, it will now give them the option to give a forfeit or a walkover. You can set the terminology based on what you call it there at your association, and then they will select the walkover and it will then notify you that the team has requested a forfeit or a walkover. At that point, you can then, with the click of a button on your dashboard, notify the opposing team that the forfeit has been given or they have received. Now, at that point, a couple of things happen. So firstly, all players will receive a push notification that you can see there in the top right corner, notifying them that the game has been forfeited and it will no longer go ahead. On top of that, each team member will also receive an email communication notifying them as well that the forfeit has been given or received and that they're not to have to attend the stadium on that particular game night. So that's phase one. That's available now. In terms of the functionality to notify you at the association, you get an email confirmation as well, and that can be customized by days of the week. So you might have particular ref supervisors or court controllers that only work on a particular night, a Wednesday or Friday. So you can customize all of that so that the people that you need to, the stakeholders that you need to receive those emails are getting them on the correct nights that they're there at the association. So that's phase one, and that's now available for any organization that uses TeamPay to be able to implement. Phase two, we're really excited about because that's going to add a number of functionality benefits. One being that it can auto notify the opposing team once they've given a forfeit or a walkover. But on top of that, what it's also going to do is generate a one-off forfeit or walkover fee into the app that they're then able to pay through their app. So you can set the rules or the parameters around how much notice someone gives before a walkover, for example, less than 24 hours, greater than 24 hours. And it will know when that individual gives the forfeit or walkover, the time between when they've given it and the game, and it will auto-generate a forfeit or walkover fee in the app that they can then split and pay. So that's coming in phase 2. It will also then allow you to also generate one-off charges that you can then send directly into the app for teams to pay. It could be team bond management. So you can create a team bond for new teams, send it to their app that they can then pay separate to their weekly team payments, and then you'll receive those funds. That's currently in work as well, and we hope to have that all available early June.
And so the last update we just wanted to share, if you don't mind, Kev, yeah, thank you, is just around our club payments functionality. And this is really aimed or designed at associations and clubs that are still invoicing for game payments, whether in advance or in arrears. We currently have actually a number of the VJBL clubs that are utilising our club payments functionality, where the club, through their own team pay dashboard, can bulk pay for their teams at the click of a few buttons. Sorry, Kev, if you might move to the next screen. So how it works is, as I mentioned, the club is set up with their own team pay dashboard that is linked to their home association. As you can see, it's a lighter version of the dashboard. They can still manage or monitor their team payments on an overview tab. It will only show their teams. They can see the team information, but what it also does is it will allow them to bulk pay for their team from their dashboard. So on the left there, you can see in advance, what it does is that the club administrator simply logs in. It will detail all their teams that are a part of the club, and they can then go and select the teams they want to pay for the upcoming week's games. They just hit pay selected. That processes a payment and sends it as a lump sum directly to the association, gives the association and the club a full audit trail with reporting on all the teams they've paid for in that particular payment. For those associations and clubs that are currently invoicing in arrears, clubs can also now pay for bulk pay for their teams for games played in the past, up to a month at a time. So it works in the same way, where they log in, they click on the pay functionality, the club administrator, but they can then change via the drop downs to look at their past games, select the date parameter, and then it will bring through all the games that club teams have paid over that date period, including the result, that they can go then and select to make payment from their team pay dashboard. They select the teams, process the payment, then again it sends it across as a lump sum directly to the association. So this is now available, and we're really excited to make it available and support those associations and clubs that are spending a lot of time still invoicing, manually tracking payments, chasing for payments, giving simplicity and ease of function to junior clubs and clubs to bulk pay for their teams, whether in advance or in arrears. Yeah, that's they're our latest updates and features that we've just released. If you would like any more information, if you'd like to see a more detailed demo, please do reach out to us. We'd love to make ourselves available and take you through it. But yeah, I'll leave it there and hand back to Matt.
Great, thanks, guys. Chantal, was there any particular questions for the guys?
There's just one. They're just wondering, does the club admin interact with the walkover function?
Yes, they will have that ability if they're set up as a club dashboard, that they can receive if anyone within their club teams gives a forfeit or walkover, they can be notified of that forfeit or walkover as well. So yes, they do.
Awesome. Thank you. Now I'll hand it over to David Hopkins from Glory League. Thanks, David.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks for your time, and thanks for having me here to present, guys. Appreciate it. So Glory League has been in Victoria for approximately 5 years, but we're really quite new to the Victorian market in terms of the associations that are coming on at the moment. And a big part of this is around the fact that Glory League isn't just automated game video. It's really a true engagement system. What we know is when we don't have an integration with our partner, people that are viewing the automated videos are under 20%. So really it's a coach, a couple of players watching the videos of the games that have been recorded. When we do have the integration, which we do with PlayHQ, we're pulling down the schedules, the names, numbers, teams, and email addresses, and integrating with the scoring system, and delivering full game and full highlight reels to participants of the games. And that's everyone. That's under 12s to over 35s. You know, A grade, D grade, and representative sports. So really, there's something for everyone, and it's that integration with PlayHQ that really drives that engagement. And we see that over 80% of people that have access to Glory League will use Glory League because it's delivered in such an easy way, and it's content that they really want. One of the great things that's happening in Victoria at the moment is the partnership with PlayHQ, Basketball Victoria, and ourselves. We're at Glory League venues. We're delivering game video to all teams that are playing in those venues through the VJBL. I'll go through some of the engagement numbers in a minute, but they're through the roof, and it's just really exciting for basketball in Victoria for everyone to be getting these videos. You know, things we talk about at Glory League are creating safer and better leagues. Everyone knows they're being filmed, they're correcting their behaviours. It's a really safe place for referees and all the players. For associations, endless content, on platform branding opportunities, really to help keep your sponsors and show them value through true numbers. There's over 50 associations across Australia and New Zealand. We're doing Knox at the moment at the State Basketball Centre. They're our most recent association to join, and they'll be going live in June. So again, VJBL is going to be great for all the games that are played at the Knox venues. We've done 250,000 games so far, 220,000 players. We're on target to reach 400,000 games per year, and over 700,000 players by 2024. So we're covering all of Australia, but we're covering more and more of Victoria all the time. And this one is just a non-humble brag, but we're doing a pilot with the NBA in June 2023. So really, really soon. So we're really excited about that. As exciting as Basketball Victoria was, the NBA is equally as exciting. Thanks, Kev. Next. So it talks about that VJBL partnership with PlayHQ and Basketball Victoria. So basically, we've had 3,000 participants that have had access to Glory League and the VJBL from the 14,000 participants, and 2,475 have logged in. So we're looking at 75% of registered participants logging in, 62% being brand new users. So without any advertising, without too much other than some signs at the venues to say that, and I'll get the wording right, the players and courtside spectators may be filmed while in the venue. You know, these are just people checking their emails that are coming, that are automated through PlayHQ, and they're spending over 11 minutes as an average session time. So it's huge. 7,000 in-game tags, 747 shares and downloads. So it's being really, really well accepted out there in Victoria, and we know that those numbers are only going to go up as we've seen in other states where Glory League has been a little bit more advanced. Geelong is a Glory League user and is a super user in the VJBL, but interestingly, Kilsyth, Camberwell are some of our biggest users, and they're not at Glory League venues. So they've just been fortunate to play at a Glory League venue, get those emails, and have just fallen in love with it, from whether it be coaching, whether it be sharing with family and friends and people that can't get to the games. There's really something for everyone. Just a couple of frequently asked questions from associations that might be interested in having automated video and the engagement system at their venues. Often third-party venues can be a potential issue where it cancels state government facilities, where at private schools, public schools. Obviously, we've never been knocked back by a government venue. And at the moment in Victoria, I'm working with the Department of Education to get a little bit more, just to be allowed to have those conversations and have it as a school by school. But we are already at Bellarine High School. There are just a couple of associations that their high schools haven't been as receptive. So Glory League's one of those things with a third-party venue. If you're thinking about Glory League, just get it started now, because it can take 9 to 12 months to get it through all the systems. And part of that is through privacy. So through the PlayHQ privacy, we understand that not everyone will have their name up, and that flags to us that person won't be a shared participant in the Glory League. But also we do a lot of work around the privacy space, around the viewing of kids and the sharing of these videos as well. So we tick all the boxes, and we work with Basketball Victoria, all the associations, and PlayHQ to make sure that our privacy is right up there with the best. If you'd like to know more, there's my details: 0411 989 313. David at Glory League. Happy to answer any of your questions, but for now, if you're a VJBL team visiting a Glory League venue, enjoy the video. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for that, David. Could I ask you to share with everyone how it all works from the fixed camera, right? How that works, how that links in with the PlayHQ e-scoring, and then what the participant will get after the game.
Sure. So their integration, okay, so it's a fixed camera. It's one camera per court. All goes back to a central server. It's our software that cuts up the game and follows the video through speed of the ball, player movement up and down the court. We also integrate with the PlayHQ scoring, as you suggested. And what that does is, as a player scores, it creates an 8-second highlight. We're pulling the names of the participant, the teams, the schedules, and the email addresses. So at the end of a game, through that integration, everyone will get a full video of the game that they're involved in. And we'll also have highlight reels based on the 8-second clips that are taken via the score bench through the PlayHQ system.
So basically the motto of Glory League is, yeah, everyone gets their highlight reel after their game that they can share, I presume, on socials and stuff like that.
There is sharing function, but it's certainly much more than that. It's just a game that they can watch in full. They can tag individual highlights. Coaches will use it as a coaching tool and grab certain clips, groups of clips, and to share through the teams. And then there are clubs that'll share it through their private channels and their WhatsApps to have a lot of fun with it as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And what is the cost to associations?
Look, the cost does vary from association to association. Most associations won't have an upfront cost. So Glory League will install hardware and the software and do the integration based on a 36-month agreement around $99 per team per season. Is our standard fees.
All right, that's all from me, David. Chantel, was there any other questions for David?
No, nothing else.
All right, back to you, Matt.
Thanks, Kev. Reaching the end here. So obviously the both Team Pay and Glory League already had their contact details up. So we'll just add them again. There's another slide. And from PlayHQ support point of view, so the support ticket link is there. So that goes directly to Kev and Chantel from a Basketball Victoria point of view. So we're the first port of call in terms of answering any questions from administrators or participants. And then if it does get escalated, it can go through to Danny and the team at PlayHQ. So any questions directly, Kev and Chantel, happy to have one-on-one chats in need with everybody. And then obviously Team Pay and Glory League, you've got phone numbers and email addresses, so reach out to the guys and they can tee up a one-on-one as well if you want to go through that. That wraps it up in 50 minutes, so we did well, everybody. As I said earlier, the recording will be shared and the presentation will be shared for those who couldn't make it. We really appreciate your time and your patience. So we would like to thank you all, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again.